Hello and a very good day everyone. So today we will learn on how we can transform data into a dashboard. As you can refer in this particular Excel file, we do have Indian cricket teams and such as Chennai Super Kings, Mumbai Indians, Kolkata Knight Riders, Rajasthan Royals and RCB, Royal Challengers Bangalore, and their expenses from January up to May. So now how we can actually create a dashboard so that we can prepare a visualization for our top management to analyze and enhance their decision making. Alright, so the first thing is in this raw data, what we do is we create a pivot table. We go to insert and we click the pivot table. So once we click pivot table, then it will highlight the entire table and then we press OK. So once we press OK, it will go to the new worksheet. So in this new worksheet, what do is I just want to put all the months to appear as the column. Alright, so I'll just tick all these. Okay, so now we do have the months January, February, March, April, May, and this is the data. But if you notice carefully, we do have some of January, some of February, some of March. So basically this data is not so beautiful, especially if just say I were to prepare a pivot chart and I were to prepare something like this and I go to design, I switch row column. So basically when I prepare this, you will notice that all the data would appear as some of February, some of March, some of April. So how I can actually change this data over here? Well, how we can change is, what we do is, first thing is we highlight all this data over here, Control H, and then I press sum of replace with replace all. So now automatically you do have January, February in a proper format. And then the next step is what I do is I go to pivot table analyze, I click pivot chart and then I press OK. Of course this is not a beautiful chart, so what I do is I go to design, switch row column. So now this is our data. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just want to press right click, I want to say hide on field button, and then I want to click on the chart element, I remove legend, I remove grid lines, I add data label, and then if you notice these numbers is too huge, so of course it's not a proper presentation to present to our managers these huge numbers. So what we can do is we click on this y-axis, right click, format axis. So once we click format axis, on the right hand side the format axis menu will appear. Then display units, I just click millions. So now we do have a data over here in the form of millions. Alright, so this is our data, and in this tab I'll name it as pivot table. I'll create a new tab which is a new tab for dashboard. So I'm going to put it over here, merge and center. So this will be our title. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this, Control X, and I want to click it over here. Okay, so now we do have a data. So let me adjust the size accordingly. So now we do have a data over here, and of course I don't really want the total. I just click this, and what I do is I remove the chart title. Alright, and then I click on the chart, I go to pivot chart analyze, I go to insert slicer, and I choose the Indian cricket team. Okay, so now this is the Indian cricket team, and let me adjust the size accordingly. Okay, so now if just say I choose Chennai Super Kings, we do have the data for Chennai Super Kings. If just say I have Kolkata Knight Riders, we do have the data for Kolkata Knight Riders. If just say I want Mumbai Indians, we do have the data for Mumbai Indians. Alright, and then what I'm going to do next is I just want to select all this data over here, copy this, and I'm just going to paste it over here so that we have another pivot table. So in this pivot table, what I want is I want to put the expenses as well. So I'm just going to click this, fill list, and I want to put expenses under the rows, and values is the column. So now we do have this data. So the next step is I'm going to put here equal G4. I'm going to cut this, put it over here, copy and paste. So we have this data over here. and there you go. So in this step, what I'm going to do is I want to format the numbers so that it's a proper accounting numbers, remove decimal, and just add all these. Okay, there you go. So now we do have the data. What I'm going to do is I want to make it center. I want to make it change the color, so maybe blue, and there you go. So now we do have this data over here. The next step is I want to highlight all this. Okay, click camera. So over here there's an icon called camera, the feature of camera. So just in case if just you don't know how to enable the camera, what you can do is you go to file, you go to options, and then under the options table or window you click quick access toolbar. Once you click quick access toolbar, you go choose all commands, and under all commands what you do is you scroll down and you see camera. So the features over here, there's a camera feature over here, and then you press add and camera will be here. So what I'm going to do is I want to create a camera. So basically camera is like the CCTV. So I click this camera and I paste it over here. Right, there you go. So this one I just let me adjust the size accordingly, and so this is the data. So let me put it over here. Next step is I want to create an automated title, meaning to say what I'm going to do is if just say I put my cursor over here and I want to change it. Alright, so I just go to pivot table, analyze, fill list, and I want to put the Indian cricket team at the filter. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll just clear filter. So when it's clear filter, it shows everything. Alright, so maybe I'll just automate this data over here so that it becomes bigger instead of each tag. Okay, so every time when it clicks, it becomes normal. So if it shows, it becomes this. Alright, so what we do is we go to the pivot table. Okay, copy this all, paste it over here, equal if all is equals to all, then we put as overall cricket teams in India, or maybe all overall cricket teams in India. Otherwise, comma, I put it over here following the slicer. So meaning to say I just want to put here equal this data over here. So if I click Chennai Super Kings, it appears Chennai Super Kings. If I click Mumbai Indians, it appears Mumbai Indians. If I clear the filter, it shows overall cricket teams in India. So what I'm going to do is I want to put as financial performance of apostrophe N. So now if you say click Mumbai Indians, we have the financial performance of Mumbai Indians. So let me adjust this, make it middle, put it at the size of 35. So we have this data over here, and maybe change the blue color, and maybe that blue will be better. Right, white, and I remove the grid lines. So go to view and remove the grid lines. So now this is your visualization. You can actually send this to your manager, and your manager can enhance their decision making by looking at the analysis.